Hello guys, it's the man here.
Welcome to the channel.
This is the second video in a two-part series where I'm comparing the Kef LS50 versus the Kef R3. I just literally filmed the other part of the video. In that video, it was more of a review where I basically recalled everything I remembered about the Kef R3 and the LS50 when I tested them a while back. Now in this video, we're going to do something slightly different, maybe unconventional. Some will love it, some will hate it. So that's really up to you. Now what I'm going to be doing is there is a video on YouTube. Let me just find it now. Yeah, there's a video on YouTube. It's written in, I believe it's Russian. And basically the guy has a Kef LS50, a pair of Kef LS50s in white with the blue cone versus the R3s. The Kef R3s live. I wouldn't advise to pick a pair of speakers by watching a video online because how can you know what it really sounds like? However, if you have decent equipment like a good headphone amplifier, a very good DAC, and a pair of monitoring headphones, I believe that you can paint a picture of, let's say, given two set of speakers with the same amplifier used, the same microphone used, etc., you should be able to pick out certain differences in the speakers. For example, the tonal balance. Like you will hear which speaker has more bass. You will hear which speaker has more treble, which one is more mids focused. You should be able to pick those things out with headphones as long as your headphones are pretty balanced as it is. The only thing you can't really tell with headphones, I think, is stuff like the slight nuances in the sound. And, you know, that's why I say don't listen to reviewers online when they say, oh, one sounds more detailed than the other, because you really need to test that in your environment, in your listening environment, to have a clue about what those differences actually mean. Are they this big or are they that big? You can't really tell unless you hear them. And if I heard them live in this room, that would still differ to how they would sound in your room, because the room is also part of the instrument that makes the sound that arrives at your ears. It doesn't matter about the sound that leaves the speaker. Once it leaves the speaker, the room interferes and the sound that comes to your ears is a different sound to what left the speaker. So that's why I'm saying you can't really test that. However, tonal balance, like I just said, tonal balance, bass, mids, highs, that you can test. That's what I'm going to be doing in this video. I'm going to be loading the video live. It's an hour and 16-minute long video. Obviously, I'm not going to listen to all of that, but I'm going to compare. I'm going to pick and compare different parts of the video. I'm going to tell you which parts to go to. If you have a fairly decent set of headphones, as long as they're decent, as you know, they could even be wireless headphones. Something like these are the Sennheiser Momentum 2.0 wireless. They'd be good enough for this sort of test, just to pick out the differences. Ideally, something a bit higher quality like this would be great. Grab your headphones, let's listen together, and I'm going to tell you my feeling. Does it match what I remember? Let's see. Okay, so the video starts off with the man chatting and the speakers get turned on around the 4.5 minute mark. I believe he's using a Rotel amplifier to power these. Around the 5:50 mark, we have some sounds like maracas and acoustic guitar, or yeah, semi-acoustic guitar. Yeah, right. So around the 8 minute mark, we have the Kef R3s in black. They come in. Okay, we're playing the same music. Already, I'm hearing that the maracas sound they're more in your face, whereas with the R3s they're more subdued, and the guitar sounds crispier to my ears. So yeah, the bit I'm talking about is 5 minutes 30. Compare 5 minutes 30 with the LS50s, compare that to 7 minutes 50 with the R3s. Actually, about 8 minutes 30 is better. The next part of this test is another song. Go to 6 minutes 16. That will be the Kef LS50s. You're going to hear a kick drum and some cymbals. there's something more forward with the Kef the Kef R3s. There's something more forward about the sound. With the guitar, I can just hear it. Yeah, the R3s, it's just as I remember it. Like I said in my previous video, the R3 sounded more clear and this open sound, and the plucking of guitars is something that I really noticed. And just like I'm hearing now live, it's that same thing. Like the LS50s were slightly more turned down in that regard. The R3s were very crispy, and they, like, I can't explain it any better than that. You can hear it for yourself and you'll know what I mean. So at 11:32 we have an organ, okay, and I believe this is the Bach Toccata and Fugue. This is the beginning to Bach Toccata and Fugue, which I've played in chamber orchestras before. Now, it's important. Why is an organ, a pipe organ, church organ, why is it important? Because you may not know this, but an organ is, you know, in terms of bass, very, very, very bass thirsty. You know, some people buy subwoofers to be able to play organs correctly. You know, I think the lowest note on a 32-foot pipe organ, I believe, is 8 hertz. 8 hertz. So that's why. If you go to 15 minutes 13, you can compare it directly to the R3s. I'm already hearing, with the R3s, I'm hearing like a brighter sort of tone compared to the LS50s on the organ. When he goes da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. If you listen to that, and I'm more aware of the echoes as well. Listen to the echoes. Yeah, listen to the echoes after he finishes the note. So what I mean is, it goes da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, echo. You hear that way more with the R3s, and this is exactly what I'm remembering when I heard them. There was a very open, expansive sound, like a live sound. At 15 minutes 41, you're going to hear the organ is playing very low. You can hear immediately that the R3 is handling this a lot better. The LS50 in comparison sounds a bit anemic. The organ is meant to sound very full. It's not, you know, it's not meant to have this kind of tonality about it. So 18 minutes 56, we have a drum kit that's just come in. It'll be interesting to compare this. Around 20 minutes, we have an electric guitar that's just started playing. Now, when I go to the bit where the Kef R3 comes in, with the drum in particular, I'm hearing straight away that the kick drum is more present, as you'd expect, but it has more of like a it has like a kind of a slight boominess in a good way, like an air that follows. It just sounds more in balance with the cymbals, you know, whereas with the R3 it was kind of all like the kick drum and the cymbals were more of a similar volume. It's meant to be the kick drum is heavy and the cymbals light. It's not meant to be the other way around. Yeah, the Kef R3 is way better for kick drum, drum kit. So at 23 minutes 10, the drum kit's finished its solo. Now comes the guitarist. I'm more aware. I don't know what it is, but I'm more aware of the things that are going on, like on the guitar string, like the sliding of the up the fingerboard. I'm more aware of these things. Don't know if you are. Yeah. At 23 minutes 36 seconds, the drum kits come back in, and now they're playing together. And to me, this just sounds more correct, because now we have the guitarist, but the drum kit is there. Earlier on, when I heard the same part of the music on the LS50s, at 20 minutes 9 seconds. Compare this to 20 minutes and 9 seconds. Yeah, if you compare the two, you can hear that LS50 is doing it like the guitarist is. The guitarist, you're hearing the guitarist more than the drum kit. It's almost like there's a baby drum kit that's been played. I'm way more aware of the guitar with the LS50. Go back to the previous bit where I said it was 23 minutes, I think. 23 minutes 30 something seconds. 33 seconds. Now the drum's back. And it's definitely a more dynamic speaker by miles, this R3, as you'd expect. But this might be a thing. Like, are you considering LS50 Meta or R3? And you just want to buy the speakers, no subs? I think this video tells you everything, really, if you're wondering. Moving on, we got into some like Euro dance, Euro trance, or whatever you call it. 25 minutes, 13 seconds, LS50. Now let's compare that with the opening from the R3. It is at 28 minutes 42. Yeah, the R3s you can hear again, they've got this more like a brighter sound, bit more like dynamic sort of sound, some maybe slightly EQ'd sound. Wow. Okay, another big difference, guys. Go to 46 minutes. Just listen to this song at 46 minutes on the LS50s. Just skip through the track and wait till you get to the R3s. Skip 10 seconds at a time until you get to the R3s, and you're just going to hear the difference in tonal balance. The vocal, the female vocal, is much clearer, more forward. Way more forward. Way more forward. Right, so I think that's all I really need to hear. I mean, I've tried, must be at least 4 tracks now, and this is just confirming everything that I remember about the R3 and the LS50. The LS50 has more of like a laid-back, sort of one-dimensional sound, probably down to the cabinet, but the laid-back aspect is not down to the cabinet. That's due to the tuning of the speakers. So yeah, the R3 has a more kind of energetic sort of vibe, while not kind of going into territory that might be considered too energetic and too dynamic. You know, I think if you want a pair of speakers to make you feel more like you're kind of at the concert, you know, you're in a live performance, you definitely want the R3s over the LS50s. You know, even if you add a subwoofer, that's just added complication. I believe the R3 is the better speaker for most people. So that's my recommendation. If you have a few extra £100, get the R3, you know, but maybe with the LS50 Meta, maybe it will be different. So I'll have to get my hands on one of them, which I will be doing soon. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Join my tribe, or I smash you.